30.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
good evening, one and all, virtually present here. Today, we are here to discuss about figures of speech. As if one wants to decorate oneself, one uses ornaments. So, just like that, if we say that figures of speech is actually figures of speech are actually ornaments for language. If we want to communicate effectively, or if we want to make our writing more interesting with the addition of color or freshness, then we use figures of speech. Today we have with us as a speaker who is going to speak on figures of speech and expressive non-literal use of language. Today we have with us Mr. Gajanan Nayak, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar Government College, Balod or Baloda. Good evening, sir. Welcome. And to share the
Thank you, ma'am.
person, we have with us Mr. Chandan Soni, our very own. And Mr. Chandan Soni, as we all know, is an assistant professor, Department of English, Government Lahiri PG College, Chirmiri. Good evening, Soni sir, and welcome.
Very good evening. Very good evening.
To moderate the session, we have very young Ms. Ankita Chakravarti, student MA 4th semester, Department of English, Government JY, Chhattisgarh College, Raipur. Good evening, Ankita, and welcome.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening,
And
ma'am.
also, just a plug that because you are going to moderate the session for the first time. So before I hand over the platform to Mrs. Sujata Behel, I want to introduce her. Mrs. Sujata Behel is the principal of
Sages, Swami Atmanand Government English School.
22 that she was posted as an English lecturer in Government Higher Secondary School, Kamta, since 2011 to 2022. Apart from teaching, working as spokesperson in a school's training program at a state level, worked on program of Navajatan 2.0, remedial teaching for primary and middle school students, with a special focus on 6C of 21st century. She has also written many training modules for a school level, like on the topic of gender equality, guidance and counseling, micro-planning, remedial teaching. She has done TKT from Cambridge University and PGCT from EFLU Hyderabad. So, welcome Sujata. Now the platform is all yours.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your kind words. As we have our speaker and moderator, everyone is here. So let's start. I would like to invite our moderator, Ankita Chakravarti. As ma'am already told that she is a very young and energetic student of 4th semester MA from Chhattisgarh College. Ankita, you may proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Sujata ma'am. And also, I would like to say thank you to Archana ma'am. Thank you to iSpell, and especially Dr. Kriti Tiwari ma'am for making me a part of this. I'm very glad to um, be a part of this. Now, I would like to introduce today's speaker, Gajanan Naik. Gajanan Naik is an assistant professor in English in Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar Government College, Baroda, District Mahasamund, Chhattisgarh. He has completed BSc and Phil in English. He has also cleared NET and SET both 2 times. He has also done um, B.Ed and D.Ed. And he has also qualified PGCTE from EFLU Hyderabad. Naik sir has also done MPCC in ophthalmology. Currently, he is pursuing PhD from Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla on Nagambika, which is a female portraiture in the selected novels of Flora Navapa. Naik sir has a teaching experience of 19 years in school education department. Um, Also, he has worked as a resource person in um, election and secret diet, and also 1 year experience of assistant professor in English. He has also published 5 papers, attended numbers of FTPs, workshops, seminars. He has also have been the IQAC coordinator of his college, and he has also served as a vice president of Student Union of College. Naik sir is actually fluent in languages such as Hindi, English, Odia, and Chhattisgarhi, and his special interest area is sports. Um, and they are cricket, badminton, volleyball, football, and carom. Welcome, sir. We are very honored to have you. Over to you, sir.
Hello,
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir.
is my voice clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Is my voice coming to you, Sujata ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first of all, very good evening to one and all, especially um, my Guru Kirti Tiwari ma'am, Archana ma'am, all professors and dear students, and especially today's chairman, Mr. Chandan Sonishar, coordinator, Ms. Sujata Bell, and moderator Ankita. I would like to show my gratitude to all the iSpell team for giving me this opportunity to come and express my experiences and knowledge towards a figure of speech. As Archana ma'am well said, that it is a kind of ornament, and no doubt ornament, whoever applies it in body, it enhances the beauty. So same thing is going to apply in language or literature. When you use it, it increases the beauty. So let's discuss on figure of speech. Uh, Before I start my presentation, I wanted to quote Dan Barker. If the prodigal sons are parable, and if Adam and Eve are metaphors, then maybe God is just a figure of speech. So in this topic, we'll discuss the definition, types, and usage of usage with examples. So first of all, what is the definition of a figure of speech? A figure of speech or rhetorical figure is a word or phrase that intentionally deviates from ordinary language used in order to produce a rhetorical effects. So again, the question is, what is the meaning of rhetorical effects? It is a kind of stylist effects, and its purpose is to elicit a response from reader or observer. It also evokes an an emotional response in the audience through use of language. And figures of speech are traditionally classified into schemes, which vary the ordinary sequence of words, and second, proofs, where words carry a meaning other than what they ordinarily signify. In detail, what is scheme and proofs? Schemes are words or phrases whose syntax, sequence, or pattern occurs in a manner that varies from an ordinary language. It means the difference between the structure, which creates something ambiguity, something newness, that comes into this criteria scheme. And the second criteria is tropes. Tropes are words or phrases whose contextual meaning differs from the manner or sense in which they are ordinarily used. In trope, unexpected twist in meaning of words. For example, simile, metaphor, synecdoche, metronomy, apostrophe, like that. These all comes under the criteria of tropes. And in schemes, I would like to suggest some examples, and that are alliteration, anaphora, antithesis. So these are mainly two types of figures of speech. So as you all know, the two very known very known word, that is simile and metaphor. So what is the meaning of simile and metaphor? In simile, we usually compare two dissimilar things and objects with the use of so, as, like. For example, Ram is like Syam. So here, Ram and Syam, two different objects, two different things, is comparing, so that it is a kind of comparison between two dissimilar, two opposite, two different things. So here the word is like, as. The like, as are the denoting word. You can say it is showing simile. And when you exclude these words, that is metaphor. Means Ram is Syam. Ram is like Syam, simile, and Ram is Syam, metaphor. So you are well aware about these two things. We are going to discuss another terminology of figure of speech. So before that, I would also like to tell about the operations. So there are mainly four rhetorical operations. The first one is addition, also called repetition, expansion. For example, addition repetitive means anaphora and apostrophe. We keep repeating the words. We shall overcome one day. We, the people of India, we, the teachers, we. Here what is happening? We are repeating a word, phrase, that is we. So this is anaphora and a kind of addition, first operation. Second is omission or subtraction. When we subtract something, when we omit something, that operation comes into this criteria, omission. And the third one is transposition, also called transferring. When we interchange the place, when we change the place of any particular word, that is transposition or transferring. And the fourth one is permutation, also called switching, interchange or substitution, A to B or B to A. Here what we are doing, we are interchanging, we are switching the place. So these are the four operation which happens in figure of speech. So I also would like to tell importance of figure of speech. This is not only helpful for a language user, but also as far as net exam is concerned, it has 2% weightage of net exam. Out of 100 questions, two questions will definitely ask from figure of speech, and there is a section literary terminology. So literary theory. So along with the figure of speech and literary term, there is 5% weightage of the courses in net examination. So this is very important as per net point of view. So the first one is alliteration. What is the definition of alliteration? The occurrence of same letter or sound at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words are called alliteration. Here, the example is she sells by the seashore. What is happening here? Here, the sound "sir" is repeating. So, alliteration. Another example is Clary closed her cluttered clothes closet. Sound "k" is there, repeating the sound "k." Harry hurried home to watch football on TV. The sound "h." Rachel ran right until she heard the sound "r." Police prancing pony performed sound "p." And the boy buzzed around as busy as a bee. So what we can observe from these examples, the occurrence of the same letter or sound at the beginning of adjacent is called alliteration. I also would like to get some answer, get some, excuse me. Get some replies in chat box from your side. You can jot down in chat box the examples of alliteration. The students are requested to jot down some examples of alliteration. Yes. Yeah. She saw the, yes, very good. Peter Picker picked Sujata ma'am, very good. Yeah. Thank you for the responses. Yeah. Sorry for the glitches. Okay. So this was the alliteration, and I think the concept of alliteration is clear to you. The second thing is, the second figure of speech is assonance. The repetition of a vowel sound either at the beginning or in the middle of words is known as assonance. vowel sound, beginning or middle of the words. For example, mighty cries in the night. Mighty cries in the night. My e cry nai e sound is there. E is a kind of e is vowel sound. So it is not alliteration, it is assonance. And the third one is another examples of assonance is cheeps and deeps. Repetition of vowel I, E, cheeps. Okay, and surf and turf, vowel vowel sound is there. Go slow over the road, o, go slow over the road. So it is the examples of assonance. The third one is sibilance. What happened in sibilance? Sibilance is the repetition of letter sound that have a huzzing or hissing quality. Huzzing or hissing quality. For example, think of letter S. S letter sounds so sound that recurs in uncertain rustling, or the s is in the luscious source. The word sibilance comes from Latin sibillare, which means to hiss or to whistle, and is in itself an example of sibilance, since it contains repetence sound. It is known as sibilance. So this has the similarity, alliteration, assonance, and sibilance. Repeating the letter or sound is not always alliteration. When the vowel sound is repeating, it is assonance, and when the sibilant sound is repeating, it is sibilance. For example, sibilance examples is there: sit down a while, and let us once again assail your ears. So the sounds is repeating here. So it is the example of sibilance. I hope the difference between alliteration, assonance, and the sibilance is clear to you. Now we are going to the next slide, that is personification. Firstly, before I say the definition of personification, we would like to go through the examples. The trees danced in the wind, the stars winked in the night sky, and the sun smiled happily down at us. The grey clouds cried drops of rain. When we observe these examples, what is happening? The tree dance. So, it does tree really dance? It is seeming like that. It is a kind of means feeling by the poet or writer or viewer. Actually, tree does not dance. Okay, and the star winged in the night. It is observer's reaction that it is looking like the star is winking and the sun is smiling like that. So, what is happening in personification? Someone, it may be the author, it may be writer, it may be the audience or viewer, emphasize a non-human characteristics by describing them with human attributes. So dancing, winking, smiling, crying, these are the attributes of human one, and which is denoting by non-human characteristics. So whenever it happens, it known as personification. I hope the meaning is clear, personification. But one thing remember to know, that these are human attributes, not human feelings. When I say that means, for example, stone is weeping. Jungle is weeping. I say general is weeping, or general is crying, like that. Sorry, general is weeping or someone thing. When emotions shows by the non-human characteristics, it does not called personification. This is called pathetic fallacy. So in literary theory, when you come across to that chapter, you will know there are three kind of fallacy: intentional fallacy, affective fallacy, and the third one is pathetic fallacy. So when the action is connecting to the emotions, that is not personification, that is pathetic fallacy. So this small thing need to remember. Our next slide is about anaphora. So what is anaphora? Anaphora is when a particular word or phrase is used repeatedly within a speech or text to add artistic effect. A particular word or phrase is used repeatedly. And if you know the founder of I Spell, our respectable Ghanshyam sir, I am a big fan of him. And actually, he's a great player of words, actually. So repeating the words, we people maybe take this action, we people encourage each other, we people help each other, like that. So what is happening here? We are quoting a particular phrase, we people, and we are repeating it. So this is known as anaphora. For example, you might use the word we over and over in a sentence for a more dramatic effect. Here we are going to the shops and we are going to buy fruit so that we can eat healthy. So what is happening here? We are repeating we are, and we. So here we is repeating. So it is example of anaphora. Using anaphora is also a way to emphasize a particular point, item, person, or place within the speech or text. And I also want to quote here our Prime Minister Narendra Modi also used this kind of figure of speech anaphora very well. So this is examples of anaphora, and few more examples of anaphora. Go big or go home. Go is repeating. Behold, be brave, be gone. Be is repeating here. Get busy living or get busy dying. Get busy. Give me liberty or give me death. So here, give me. You are damned if you do, and you are damned if you don't. So many examples are there. You can watch and observe and analyze what is the meaning of anaphora. Very important figure of speech and very impressive, actually. When you speak among the crowd, then and wanted to make your speech very effective, so it will be very effective when you use anaphora. हम स्वागत करते हैं, हम अभिनंदन करते हैं, हम वंदन करते हैं. So it really sounds good. It create a kind of magic. So this was anaphora. The next one is onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia, use of words which supposedly sound like that they mean, such as splash, hiss, etc. Or in different way, if you want to say that, sound suggesting words. Only the word is suggesting a kind of sound, that's it. No other meaning is there. Boom. For example, boom, boom, wow, OMG, oops, splat, jab. No other meaning is there. It is only suggesting a sound. And by the sound bang, you know that something is happening. Something is happened like that. So sound suggesting words are known as onomatopoeia. So very important figure of speech, onomatopoeia. Next one is antithesis. Anti means opposite, and thesis means thoughts or ideas. So opposite ideas, whenever you find when two words with opposite ideas are joined by conjunction, it is known as antithesis. Remember, there is opposing ideas. Many kind of figure of speech are there, which are opposite. Means will know that things like a paradox, antithesis, oxymoron. Slight difference is there, but once you know the concept very well in depth, you don't have any kind of confusion. So here, antithesis, anti-opposite idea, joined by conjunction. United we stand, divided we fall. So conjunction is there. Okay. So united we stand and divided we fall. Opposite ideas, united, stand, and divided we fall. Okay. United and divided, different things, and stand and fall is opposite ideas. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. Okay, fools and angel and where angels to tread. Okay, the third one is while targeting the goals of life, he met with triumph and disaster. Keep your mouth closed and your eyes open, close and open. And is also there. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Best and worst, different ideas are there. And better to reign in hell than to serve in heaven, hell and heaven. So opposite ideas are there and joined by conjunction. It is known as antithesis. Close and open. The third one is okay. Fourth one is close and open. So this was antithesis. Next one is paradox. Means a statement or proposition that seems self-contradictory or absurd, but in reality expresses a possible truth. For example, I must be cruel to be kind. It is written by a great writer William Shakespeare in Hamlet. I must be cruel to be kind. शहीद अमर होते हैं. हम सभी कहते हैं शहीद अमर होते हैं. Shahid itself meaning that he is dead, and we are saying Amar hote. So it is paradox. I must be cruel to be kind. उसी तरह का all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. जॉर्ज ऑरवेल के द्वारा एनिमल फॉर्म्स में लिखा गया है ये कोट. So these are the examples of paradox. Proposition seems self-contradictory or absurd, but in reality expresses a possible truth. Okay, so many more examples are there. Now the next one is examples. Oxymoron. What is oxymoron? These are examples: big baby, open secret, passive aggressive, original copy, alone together, deafening silence, clearly confused, living dead. So what is the definition of oxymoron? A phrase combine two words that seem to be opposite of each other. Two phrase combines two words, and those words are opposite to each other. For example, big and baby. Baby can't be big. But we a baby is big among baby. A baby is big, so big baby. So it is oxymoron. It is use of oxymoron. Open secret, free market is also there. Free market, सफेद झूठ, like that. Original copy, original and a copy. How can original be copied? Living dead, like that.
Sir, sir,
We confirm that there is different antithesis, opposite ideas joined by conjunction. Okay, stand and fall. United we stand, divided we fall. Antithesis, anti and thesis. Split it into two parts. Okay, and paradox, contradictory statement. जो लग रहा है गलत है, रियल में सही है. That is paradox. It is also opposing words, contradictory. And the third one is oxymoron. Two opposite giving meaning is coming together, combines together. Two words is known as oxymoron. Okay, so be sure that you won't be confused in antithesis, paradox, and oxymoron. Next one is apostrophe. What is apostrophe? A figure of speech in which someone absent or dead or something non-human is addressed as if he, she, it were alive and present. Actually, audience or the listener is absent there. Listener in actually does not listen anything. That is apostrophe. Hey Bhagwan, आके मेरी जान बचा लो. Bhagwan is not listening to you. And many examples are there. For example, O books, who alone are liberal and free, who give to all who ask of you and enfranchise all who serve you faithfully. Richard G. Bari द्वारा लिखा गया है. So here we are addressing book. So book can't listen anything. So we are using apostrophe, figure of speech. Many more examples are there. O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo, O happy dagger? This is thy seat, their rust, and let me die. And very famous one, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. We are addressing to the star, little star. So does little star able to listen? No, it is not. Table you have given us so many great times, and you guys, Jordan, like that. Oh God, please help me. Oh liberty, oh life, oh God, like that. So these are the examples of apostrophe. So where listener is absent, when non-human is addressed, that is actually listener is absent. It can't be applied to the human. It is only non-human is that here non-human is addressed. So apostrophe. Okay. Next one is tease. Remember the pronunciation of this one, tease. Okay. So what is the definition of tease? Affirmative statement. Positive things are expressed by negative comment. Means you are not. It is not bad. It is not bad means what it is? It is actually good. So affirmative is expressed by negative, not bad. Actually, we want to show the quality, good quality, and instead of saying good, we are saying what? Not bad. The ice cream was not too bad. It means ice cream is good. New York is not an ordinary city. So not an ordinary city, it means it is extraordinary city. So extraordinary positive things is denoting by negative statement, which is which really not a negative. Actually, it is showing the positive. Your comments on politics are not useless. You are not as young as you used to be. I cannot disagree with your point of view. Cannot disagree means I am agree. William Shakespeare was not a bad playwright at all. Means good playwright. He is not the cleverest person I have ever met. She is not unlike her mother. She is like her mother, not unlike like her mother. So these are the examples of literaties. Means affirmative is expressed by negative. Positive things are expressed by negative. So this is known as literaties. Next one is hyperbole. Hyperbole and figure of speech in which exaggeration is used for emphasize or effect. Extreme exaggeration is known as hyperbole. For example, I could sleep for a year. Means he's feeling very slippery. And that's why he exaggerated the concept, the thing, and saying, I could sleep for a year. Nobody can sleep for a year. So this is hyperbole. This books weighs a ton. Means a ton a ton weight is not possible for a book, but the amount of difficulties means and the disinterested things are there, which readers feels that it is weight a ton. Its weight is a ton. So exaggeration is there. So it is example of hyperbole. So the next one is examples of metronomy. What is the meaning of metronomy? Okay, so it is metronomy is derived from Greek word metonymia. Metonymia, which means change the name. Metonymia, change the name. Means the act of referring to something else that is closely connected with it. Means, for example, the White House. White House is denoted by the president. President is denoted by White House. So the act of referring to something else that is closely connected with it. Means president is connected with the White House. He stay there. So that's why instead of president, we can say the message is coming from White House. So instead of saying the message is coming from president, we can say the message is coming from the White House. So here we are using metronomy. Another example, he is the crown of this area. Crown denotes the king. Example, another example, Jack Frost came to town earlier than usual this year. So here, metronomy, Jack Frost. Jack Frost means it represent winter or cold weather. It means Jack Frost came to the town means winter came to the town. Winter came earlier than usual this year. This is the interpretation of the statement, the example. Next one is, could you please give me a hand? So could you please give me a hand? What is there? Metronomy. Metronomy is what? Hand. Hand का मतलब यहाँ पे क्या हुआ? Help or assistance. Could you please give me a hand or assistant or help? Okay. So this is metronomy. I hope the concept of metronomy is key. Ducky is a figure of speech, but to a part or something is substituted to stand in for the whole. A part represent the whole. Synecdoche. A part represent the whole. Means a finger can represent the whole body. Means there are many parts of body from head to toe. So whatever a thing single part can represent the whole body, it is synecdoche. Means if you look at the car, so there are many parts of car: steering, wheels, gear, like that. So if any part is using for whole car is known as synecdoche. For example, he has fast wheels. Fast wheels. What is the meaning of wheels here? Wheels means four-wheeler or car. Okay. So not all department stores accept plastic. Ram is feeding your mouse at home. Have you read the paper today? And my father loves to play the strings. So these are the examples of synecdoche. Many more figures of speech are there, and within an hour it can't be completed. And for more number of figure of speech, we should go through and take another session. Otherwise, you can go through and typed in Google, you can have many more figure of speech. So if there is any query, you can raise your hand in chat box and quench your thirst. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah, I'm concluding, ma'am. Yeah, Tiwari
I
ma'am.
have one question.
Kiti Tiwari madam has raised her hand.
Yeah, ma'am.
I
Yeah,
think.
ma'am.
Madam, are you there? Tiwari madam? I think by mistake.
Sir, I have a question. So you talked about um, anaphora. And you gave the example of get busy. I was wondering if anaphora is actually similar to the idioms.
No. Every idioms don't have same pattern. Actually, idioms can be anaphora when the concept. What is the concept of anaphora? Repetition of certain words or phrase. That is anaphora. Ankitaji. Idioms
Sir.
can be come into that criteria, but not all idioms can be called anaphora.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Kriti ma'am is saying that she has been muted.
Madam is not able to unmute her. Her question is, please read out her question. She has written her question in the chat box. Ankita.
Yes, ma'am. She is asking, tell me about how simile be transformed to metaphor.
Okay. As I said, the words means as, like, and so. If we exclude these words, so then simile can be transferred into a metaphor.
If any other participants wants to ask, they may ask.
Ankita, you have to check that chat box also if there is any question there.
Hello. Now
Yes,
hello.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can I speak now?
You are audible now.
Yes,
You are audible now, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. First of all, I should congratulate speaker for sharing his in-depth knowledge with all the participants. What I was telling is we can transfer also say, if we say he is the lion of the fight and he fought like a lion. So he fought like a lion would be simile, and he was the lion of the fight will be metaphor. So that way we can transform one figure of speech to another also sometimes. Am I right, sir?
Yeah, ma'am, absolutely, ma'am.
And this is one of the weakest points when we go to take interview for the post of assistant professor. Recently, I had been to one of the colleges and I asked just that I spent a sleepless night. Which figure of speech is this? And she couldn't say. She didn't know
Tiwari,
what
ma'am,
the difference. Yeah.
you are my interviewer as well, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That I don't know. So, but these are some of the basics of language difference between parts of speech and figures of speech and all. That whoever wants to read literature, they should be thorough with it. And I remember when we were in school in Wren and Martin, there was a whole chapter on how to appreciate poetry, and we used to read that first. So, without this significant topic, no student of language and literature can really enjoy literature and speak nicely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Tiwari, ma'am.
There's also another question by Farhim Quasi. All the, which figure of speech can be used frequently in prose?
Actually, once you are perfect, once you have knowledge, proper knowledge of a figure of speech, definitely it is actually, as Archana ma'am said, it is ornament, and ornament always make a person beautiful. So definitely, if you are capable to use it, why not?
And
We
we
are
can make our meaning
a
more clear
meaningful,
and
ma'am,
more
meaningful statement actually.
expressive, yeah.
Yeah,
Effective. Yes,
yeah,
effective is
and relevance is most important while you are
right.
going to use a figure of speech, ma'am.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess there is no more question. Um, like sir, it was a very informative and very well thought out examples that you have given. I hope everybody understand more. Now I would like to introduce today's chairman, Dr. Chandan Soni, uh, who has completed BA and MA in English from Durga College, Raipur, and he has received gold medal and Ramesh Uma Manotra gold medal for highest rank MA in linguistic too. He has done his MPhil as a first rank course in certificate course in translation in Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla Raipur. He has qualified in an English language proficiency test in EFLU Hyderabad. He is also currently working in government Lahiri PG Chirmari while also studying PhD in NIT Raipur. Dr. Chandan has a teaching experience of 10 years in UGC and 2 years in PG in colleges such as Devbhog Government College Birgaon Raipur, Government Digvijay College Rajnandgaon, and his area of interest are phonetics, poetry, and also he's also interested in photography. Welcome, sir. Um, Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Ankita. And I'm very glad and very grateful to the coordinator, Sujata Behel Madam, for giving me this honor. And at the same time, I take the opportunity to thank all my mentors and senior professors like our president, Archana ma'am, and of course, Garcha ma'am, and from CG I Spell Forum, our patron, Dr. Kirti Tiwari madam, and the founder, our friend, philosopher, and guide, G.A. Ghanshyam sir, founder of I Spell India. So it was Nayak sir, Gajanan Nayak sir. I am very glad to attend this session, and
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I congratulate you that you have, first of all, that the choice of the topic, today's topic, is very, very useful. And I can see that the attendance is very good today. Mostly, I guess the PG students are there, and it has been a very useful session for the PG students, those who are willing to qualify NET exams. As we came to know from the introduction, that you have qualified NET and SET many times. So it was very obvious from your presentation that how in minute details you have discussed and covered the topic of figures of speech. So heartily congratulations, sir. You have exhausted the topic, I could say, and you began with comparing figures of speech to the ornaments, like it itself, the beginning itself. Archana ma'am started with this, and in this expression itself, there is use of figures of speech, and that is simile, as you explained, that comparing figures of speech to ornaments is itself a figure of speech. And again, you started very interestingly when you said that God is a figure of speech, that quotation. You have defined the literary terms very effectively. First of all, the literal meaning of what are figures of speech, and then you differentiated the two types of figures of speech according to the meanings and their references. The most common two figures of speech that we find everywhere in all conversations, that is metaphor and similes, that you gave wonderful examples. And I guess that with the examples that you have given, students would be able to remember the differences between all the similar looking or confusing terms: anaphora, transposition, juxtaposition. These three terms are so like one is very likely to confuse between these and mix up these things. So you explained it very well. And at the same time, next you said, talked about the functions of figures of speech. So of course, as students of literature, we realize that we find so many beautiful expressions in literature, in whether it is poetry or short story or an essay. Whenever we come across a good piece of literature, we are startled, and the first thing is that we could connect to literature because we find we could identify with the situation, like in a poem or in a song, and we feel that it is so common, but it is presented in such a beautiful way that it appeals so beautiful, and we are very attracted to any kind of literature. So it is the figures of speech that make a commonplace experience, transforms a commonplace experience into a piece of literature. So that you discussed very well. And as you suggested that the UGC NET syllabus has at least 5% questions from figures of speech. So I am sure that the students who have attended today's session must secure those 5% marks. Then you talked about alliteration and assonance, and you explained the difference very clearly with the special phonetic details of vowel sounds. You explained it very well, sir. And then you talked about personification. I mean, I guess that you have hardly left the topic unexhausted. Most of the topics are covered, which are important ones. Personification versus pathetic fallacy. That too has a very minute difference. And that difference was very well explained by you. For personification, first of all, we came to know about personification in our graduation first year. I remember the poem "Death Be Not Proud." So first example we came to know. Then you talk about anaphora, repetition, and you gave example of Ghanshyam sir's speeches. And I am also, and I totally agree with you. And we are all very fond of listening to sir, if sir is listening to us. And I agree with you that moreover, sir is a very great speaker. And the most common figure of speech sir uses is, I think, pun. It is his pun is very interesting, very pithy. At the same time, his dissection of words, like whatever we are saying, he takes those words and he dissects them, and a similar rhyming word sir takes, and that is a very rare art. We are very fond of that. Then there are so many things you talked about. You talked about anaphora, which could be useful in public speaking. Then onomatopoeia, the very pronunciation of the word onomatopoeia is like explaining the pronunciation. Then antithesis, paradox, and oxymoron. So an example of paradox I came across here in Chirmiri, I would like to share with you. Like the students of like the present generation, they use these three terms I have come across, that whenever they want to appreciate something beautiful or something very good, they say that it is like zahar. They say zahar. कैसा लग रहा है? बिल्कुल जहर लग रहा है, एकदम जहर लग रहा है वो. And then they say खतरनाक. खतरनाक गया है पेपर, means अच्छा गया है. They use it in a positive sense. And at the same time, there was a stall in Anand Mela, and then a student came to me and say, "Sir, हम momos बनाए हैं, एकदम तबाही momos बनाए, तबाही." So again, it is a paradox. So later you talked about apostrophe and that example, "Hey Bhagwan, आगे मेरी जान बचा लो." That was very interesting, sir. And you also quoted Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. So overall, I find that it was very, very effective and very useful for the students. And I wish that we organize one more session on figures of speech or some other topic that is relevant to UGC NET with Gajanan sir. And I was going through the figures of speech, that I came across a few examples from popular poetry, that is Urdu and Hindi. I remember Ghalib when he says, "Bazi chahe atfal hai, dunya mere aage, hota hai tamasha shab roz mere aage." So Bazi chahe atfal, he says like word is like a playground. So that is a simile, I guess. And when Javed Akhtar says, तुमको देखा तो ये ख्याल आया, जिंदगी धूप तुम घना साया. So zindagi as dhoop and the beloved as ghana saya. So that is an example of metaphor, I guess. And when Firaq Gorakhpuri says, "Suni suni si haras lage, zindagi to Ram ka banwas lage." So it is again metaphor. And Vijay Vate, I am very fond of this couplet. कड़ी भात खट्टी चटनी और दाल पराठे गोभी के. कड़ी भात खट्टी चटनी और दाल पराठे गोभी के, दही दूध अदरक लहसुन सी गंध सुहानी अम्मा की. So again comparing all the smells of the kitchen with the smell of mother. And when Gulzar Sahab says, किताबें झांकती हैं अलमारी के बंद शीशों से, महीनों अब तो मुलाकातें नहीं होती. So there is personification, like books being treated as looking from the glass of Almira. And more from Gulzar Sahab, अपने हॉकर से अपने हॉकर को कल से चेंज करो, 500 गांव बह गए इस साल. That is taking words like from different other languages into your basic language. So that was really a very interesting session, and I congratulate the coordinators, Yada Behel madam and Archana ma'am, and that's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your true and kind words.
Just a second, Ankita. I also want to say a few words about Ankita. That very congratulations to Kirti Tiwari madam, and thanks to her that she has such a brilliant master of ceremonies in form of Ankita. So this is for the second time I have discussion with Ankita, and your voice is very
Melodious.
yes and sonorous, I could say.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
After
Thank
all,
you very much.
she is a Bengali.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Chandan.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. I think I have meet you, like heard you speaking multiple of times in our college, and today here too. It was very nice. Sir, you have a great observation, I must say. You use for students and generation, like you use khatarnak, and also that proud. It also reminds me of when I was doing graduation. I think sir, it was really kind of you. Now I would invite Sujata to continue the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Ankita, for the wonderful moderating of the session. And first of all, I want to say thanks to Dr. G. Ghanshyam sir for providing us such a fantastic virtual platform. Every Saturday we meet here and we learn something new from here. And Kirti Tiwari ma'am, thank you for your kind support. For any of the session is incomplete without certificate. If we get certificate, it brings smile on our face. So I would like to invite Dr. Harpreet Kaur Garcha ma'am for providing certificates. Garcha ma'am? Ma'am, are you there? Okay, Archana ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Please share the certificate. So this is the first certificate that goes to Mr. Gajanan Nayak, today's speaker.
Thank you, ma'am.
And
Thank you.
sir, truly you have spoken or you have covered almost all the important figures of the speech. And as Chandan sir has said, that we must take another session from you, because some of them are left, and it is very mandatory for all the students who are doing in literature, who are studying in literature. They should know all the figures of speech. So really, sir, and you have done very well. And this is a token of appreciation or token of love from Chhattisgarh Forum. Please accept this.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much.
The second certificate, please. You have summed up the season, and you have also entertained us by giving some very beautiful or melodious